Good morning, guys. Sorry about that, man. It went a bit dingy there. I went to go get my brew and it went off. So I had to come on, and for some reason it lost connection and stuff. Obviously, as you can see, I'm still in this location waiting for my landlord to come and sort the room out. Big up to you all. Now then, people, he's having a danger wank. A minute, see if I can get it done, Jackie Russ. That's quality. Smash me a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course, hit that notification bell. Today is a good day in terms of the links that we're seeing. Pacia obviously came out yesterday. Lockie and Andrea have gone on a mad one saying how brilliant he is. I've been speaking to them about him, watched some clips, done a bit of digging myself. So I go Pacia, the Brazilian, currently at Feyenoord winger. Which throws up questions over Leeds United's winging options. Nonto, Ramazani, Will Solomon return. We've got Dan James for the right-hand side, which I think is the only one that's guaranteed at this moment in time. So, it does throw that up. Obviously, he's on the left-hand side as well, plays predominantly on the left. So it does... it does throw it up. Larkin says Harrison as well. I think we'll sell him, mate. But it does leave question marks. Obviously, there's the Ramazani chat as well. I don't know what's going to go on there. But again, as I've said to you before, and I keep maintaining, keep Rodon, Bogle, Ampadu Tanaka, and potentially James. The rest all can be up for sale for me. But we'll wait and see. I know that will ruffle some feathers and people will disagree. There's people that believe that Ramazani's better than some of Aloras, and it's madness. He's younger and played more first-team football. I get everyone being excited by him because he's that type of player, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But Pacia is obviously an improvement. The majority of players that we bring in this window will be improvements. These are the facts. Because what we had last season was predominantly a championship squad with only a few that you can hang your hat on and say, yeah, they're probably going to be able to do it in Prem. We might get some surprises. Of course we might, and some might show up and you're like, wow. But it's a big step up. It's a massive step up. So we've been linked to Pacia. We'll get into some stuff there as well. There's been some stuff on some of the bigger clubs' transfer activity and what that might mean for us as well, that I'm just going to run through as well. We have also been linked to midfielder. I'll probably butcher his name here, currently at Getafe, Kristen Stus Uche, 22-year-old Nigerian midfielder, plays as a 10. Can also play in the forward line, so we'll talk about him as well. That's also on the thumbnail. And then I've seen a report from some Liverpool sources about Joe Gomez and Leeds United potentially tracking him with a host of clubs, which, I've said before, Simicas, which looks like that was never going to happen at this point, I don't think. Simicas, Joe Gomez, Harvey Elliott. Harvey Elliott's not going to Leverkusen now. I still think we'll struggle to get Harvey Elliott anyway, but there's a lot of Liverpool players that will be available. I'd love Curtis Jones, but he'll stick around. But Joe Gomez falls into that category, and he can play anywhere across the back line. So, Joe Gomez for me would be an unbelievable signing. He will leave Liverpool this summer. It's whether or not we can get him, right? But we have been linked to him. We'll start there because, like I said, it is improbable because he's such a good player, right? He does have injury issues and stuff. Listen, if the door goes at some point, my landlord's dad's supposed to be coming to look at the roof. So if I have to just shoot to the door and show him where it is, you know why. But this is the report. So this is 8 clubs eyeing summer move for £25 million Liverpool ace. FSG won't block his exit. It goes on here just to say Liverpool open to selling Gomez. According to sources close to the empire of the cop, Liverpool are open to letting the 28-year-old depart this summer. Can't believe he's 28, by the way. I wouldn't stand in his way if his wish were to leave, with FSG setting a price tag of 25 million. No fewer than 8 Premier League clubs are keeping close tabs on Gomez, with Newcastle, Villa, Everton, West Ham, Bournemouth, and the promoted trio of Leeds, Burnley, and Sunderland all informed as to his situation. Those suitors believe they can sign the Reds' number 2 for less than the aforementioned figure, and sources have indicated that the Londoner may be open to a departure from Merseyside during the off-season. Then they just talk about, obviously, his time at Liverpool. He's got 241 appearances for the Red. If you could pick him up, I mean, it'd be absolutely amazing. But, you know, it'd be very difficult deal for Leeds United to do, under no illusions. Do you know what? I'm not sold on Kwanzaa. Genuinely not sold on Kwanzaa. I think he's one of them that... Özcan Kabak, who was at Liverpool, just Nat Phillips. You know, they break into such a good side that they can look better than they actually are. I'm not convinced on Kwanzaa. I may end up being wrong on that. I've been wrong on many players, but I'm just not convinced. He's made a lot of ricks. He's made a lot of mistakes. He was hooked at half-time in one game. Now, of course, it's Liverpool, and their expectancy is higher than what ours is. But I just feel that, yeah, he might be another Nat Phillips. Oh, he comes in, oh, he's amazing. Well, it's not difficult to look amazing next to Virgil van Dijk. So I'm not convinced on Kwanzaa. And if you bring someone in like that at Leeds, I don't know. For me, we need someone experienced and who you know is gonna do well. And Joe Gomez, you can guarantee, you can sort of hang your hat on him that he improves as Kwanzaa. I still feel it'd be a risk. So yeah, Joe Gomez being linked is positive. It's someone that I would like, but again, I don't think Newcastle go there. They're after like Guehi and Coarty. They're after a different kettle of fish. Again, I don't think Villa would go there. I don't think Villa would go there. Who are some of the other clubs? Everton, no chance he moves across there. West Ham potentially, Bournemouth potentially, with them also losing the Hulson to Real Madrid. But I don't see him going Newcastle or Villa. He won't across the Mersey to Everton, regardless of him being from London. It's not going to happen. West Ham, if he's from London, that's probably more than likely. What about Chalobah, Joe? Yeah, I'd take Chalobah, mate. But again, I don't think he comes to us. Chalobah would improve us immensely. But again, I mean, he played it. I know he probably won't play next season, but he was on loan at Palace, then went back to Chelsea, right? He could go back to Palace, couldn't he? They're in Europe now. I'd love Trevor Chalobah, mate, but that's not going to happen for us, unfortunately. But Joe Gomez, if we can make that deal happen, then yeah, I'd be all over it like a tramp would on chips, to be honest. Kipri. What, from West Brom? Nah, not for me. Not for me. I'm not sure about that one. We'll just, before we do talk about while we're staying on Premier League, let's just talk about some of the movement potentially. Some movement potentially on Premier League clubs that could affect Leeds United slightly. Again, it's just, I'm just chatting. I think it's something worth noting about, because what the Athletic have done is obviously done a piece on transfer activity. Sorry, that might hurt your eyes. And they're just looking at the transfer deal sheet that comes out on a weekly basis. No, sorry, I thought that was the landlord there. Just a few that could potentially see dominoes fall that could affect Leeds United. This one here is massive, because I'm seeing Vissa linked with Tottenham. I'm seeing Thomas Frank linked with Tottenham, and Buemo's going to Manchester United. This is massive wins for Leeds United. This weakens Brentford massively. Could they remember? Remember remember a couple of weeks, I think it was last week, we were talking about which teams are likely to drop out. Well, for me, Brentford could be one. And if someone like him was to leave, it's massive. It's massive. Nothing way similar. Kwanzaa is young. Gomez is 28. He's played 200 times for Liverpool. It's not the same. Joe Gomez is experienced now at this stage. Okay, so Brian and Buemo, Aitonore as well, leaving Wolves. They're another side that for me I'd be looking at saying hopefully they can potentially drop. So some of these could certainly impact us. Calvert-Lewin's future, major doubt. Contract among those expiring. Calvert-Lewin scored 3 goals, so it looks like he might not be re-signing at Everton. Does that then affect a Beto deal that Leeds United were linked to straight out of the gate from credible sources as well? So Dominic Calvert-Lewin, his future is in a major doubt. Will Leeds look at that? I just think he's too injury prone, but what that means is maybe Brent, he stays, right? Yeah, true, but not every. And look, Sharda looked great last season, Chris, but not every. It's not Wissa and it's not Mbuemo, and it doesn't always work. And I agree with this as well, David. If Thomas Frank goes, then it's a really tough ask. Yeah, maybe Philip, maybe, but he's been linked, and I just thought we could have a chat about it. Some interesting ones on the Arsenal front, by the way. I mean, I'd love this guy. One sec. That's some incomings. It was Zinchenko. We're not getting him, but I would play him in midfield for us, to be honest. But yeah, he's potentially leaving Arsenal. Lakonga, I think he spent time at Forest. He's going to have a contract extended and then be sold. Could that be someone we look at? And of course, people go, look on the off your head. I remember we were linked to other players, but people need a realization as to where we're at. Kieran Tierney has signed a pre-contract agreement with Celtic. We spoke on that the other day, didn't we? Now, Chelsea's quite interesting because they have loads of people available. Look at this. This approach is even extended to the goalkeeper position. This is not to say they will definitely sign another one because they already have what I consider to be good options in Sanchez, Petrovic, Jorgensen and Mike Penders, officially joining from Genk in this window. So if you need a goalkeeper, go speak to Chelsea. Let me just have a look. Who will they be looking to sell? So you've got Raheem Sterling, Ben Chilwell, Carney Chukwuemeka. I think Chukwuemeka has been linked to someone higher up. Armando Broja, again, he's had injury issues, but he could be someone you could look at. Kepa, maybe he goes back to Bournemouth. Renato Vega looked good when he played. Disasi, I used to call him Axel Disaster, but it's Leeds United, not Chelsea, not Aston Villa. Would Disasi improve Leeds? Yes. João Felix isn't going to happen, is he? Ben Chilwell, injury issues, man. He's had a bit of a torrid time. Dewsbury Hall will stay put, and if he does go on loan, he won't come to Leeds. Ukwa-Chukwu is well liked, and his loan at Southampton is viewed positively, but they are now well stocked. Could you look at bringing in someone like Ukwa-Chukwu on loan? Gilchrist's loan at Sheffield United didn't go well, so no, thank you. Nkunku, I've seen he's been linked to. I think it was Liverpool and maybe even Spurs. Chalobah and Dewsbury Hall, you were just touching on Dewsbury Hall, might have a decision to make given their place in the first 11, while one of the goalkeepers, not Penders, may go on a permanent basis. So could we have a look there? Have to wait and see. Liverpool, as I've mentioned, I mean, they've made some serious business, and we need to be looking at this, obviously, to see the sort of opposition we're going up against. It remains to be seen whether players found their game limited in 24-25, such as Harvey Elliott and Kwanzaa, push for a move. What kind of offers are forthcoming? Tyler Morton, Nat Phillips and Reece Williams are expected to leave in search of a fresh challenge. Tyler Morton, if we were still in the Championship, I'd be all over it. I don't know how he's loaned. Ben Doak, plenty of interest, obviously great at Middlesbrough. I don't think I would be taking him to the Prem. And Bajcetic, I remember when, I think he's Bosnian maybe, he broke onto the scene and was quality, but temporary stints at Salzburg and Las Palmas, so that one's gone a bit quiet. Number of players available for loan that won't be any good for us, really, if we're honest. Liverpool have smashed it. Some interesting chat on Newcastle as well. Grealish, I know there's some that think we could be there. That's not going to happen. Stones as well. Bring Stones back to Yorkshire. I'd take John Stones. But he only got 13 starts last season. But yeah, John Stones. Let's have a look. Manchester United, no point, move on from them. They're all washed out there. Rasmus Højlund's linked to Inter, by the way. I've seen that today. Delap's gone Chelsea as well. That's been confirmed today. 6-year deal. On the Newcastle front then, so there is conversation on the goalkeeping situation. We know that they want James Trafford, Jack Grealish there. They said there's no interest in him though for Newcastle. They do mention James Trafford. Again, dominoes need to fall in the Newcastle goalkeeping situation for us to have a chance of getting Nick Pope. Obviously, they had a bid rejected last summer. It's gone up. It'll be 30 million thing. And also, Jean Garcia's impressive season at Espanyol has been noted, but I believe he's been linked to Barca as well. But they are on the hunt for a goalkeeper. So with Newcastle, it's a case of if they land a goalkeeper, can we go and get Pope? That's where we're at. There's talk on Sean Longstaff as well. Obviously, we've been linked for a while now. His future is uncertain. Even if an exit appears likely, the 27-year-old turned down opportunities to leave in January, so he stayed put. But he's entering the final 12 months of his deal. Could he just wait that out? Look, if he turned down deals in January, I didn't know that. Could have one of them deals been us? Who knows? I didn't know he'd turned down a move in January. So maybe Sean Longstaff is happy staying put at Newcastle until his contract runs out. Also, worth noting as well, it says here, Longstaff is their only club-trained senior player, meaning keeping the academy graduate will be beneficial to European squad numbers. And we know now as well, they are in the Champions League. So that may put a block on any move. You know, when people like have a go at the Byram situation and stuff, you have to think about these things. And Longstaff, the club might look at it and say, he's not on a big contract. He's happy to stay on limited minutes. Just keep him around till his contract runs out. So that might scupper any move for Sean Longstaff. Ideally, they want to keep hold of Joe Willock-Barnes and Kieran Trippier. I mean, Harvey Barnes would be a dream, wouldn't it? I mean, we won't get him, but yeah, he's unbelievable. This is what I found quite interesting, right, folks? Vlachodimos. So Vlachodimos was bought by Newcastle for 20 million and has only made one substitute appearance. Apparently he's available, wants to leave. Yeah. Dubravka, obviously in the same situation, but Newcastle refused to didn't let Dubravka leave early last season in the winter breaks. He was going to go Saudi. I remember he played his last game and all that. Joe Donohue's just done an article. We'll get on that in a sec as well. Happy days. Thanks, Tyler, for that. So Dubravka's situation, it was quite interesting that he stayed and then Vlachodimos is still there. So Vlachodimos wants to move. So if Leeds United want a goalkeeper, could Vlachodimos be a potential? Maybe. I know I don't give a schmidt. True. So just one to watch, maybe Vlachodimos. That isn't any knowledge. That's me just saying, well, he's available. Could Leeds United move there? Newcastle will listen to offers for Matt Targett. I believe he's been linked to Burnley. Meh. Not that fussed. Maybe Lewis Miley on loan. That could be an option. But again, we're only allowed 2 from the Prem, aren't we? Osalu, the striker, as well, came on towards the back end of the season. There's a little bit here on Callum Wilson as well to say Newcastle have opted against enacting the 1-year extension. So he will leave now. They did hold talks over a more incentivized deal, so it'll be pay as you play, and they've said no. So Callum Wilson will be available. Quite interesting that Newcastle have done that and he's rejected it. So Leeds need to, if they are interested in Callum Wilson, take this into consideration, because if his club where he's trained want to offer him that, as much as he says, oh, I'm super fit, Newcastle are saying, well, you can pay as you play, and he said no. So, Jamal Lewis contract is up. Worked with Farker previously at Norwich, but again, he's barely played, has he? So there you go. That's the Newcastle stuff. Tottenham Hotspur, there is a few leaving there actually, which did pique my interest. Obviously, look, they're linked to Johan Wissa. Forest were as well, so watch this space. But Basuma could be available for sale. Basuma could be one. I don't think he's nowhere near hit the heights everyone expected him to after leaving Brighton, and hasn't really been amazing at Spurs. Did when Ange first came in, but sort of fallen off a little bit. You've got Papi Matisar in there. Maybe Gray will start to play midfield. Obviously, Bentancur. They'll probably look to have some more options in there. So Basuma's available. Could that be an option for Leeds? I think it'd be quite pricey. Richarlison and obviously Manor Solomon has just helped Leeds win promotion from the Championship and is a prime candidate to be sold when he returns from that loan. And obviously we know about Leeds United. They wait till the cookie crumbles. The last leaf falls sometimes. Maybe deals like that, like a Basuma, become available for Leeds United. And I think that might be a lot just on that. But there's just, it is. It goes on to Barcelona and Real Madrid. But I just thought it'd be some interesting things for us to take into consideration, like with the likes of Vlachodimos, maybe Basuma, other names there that have been mentioned that you go, all right, okay, Callum Wilson's definitely not signing a new deal. So there has been an article as well. Someone's just let me know. So before we speak on Pacia and your man Christensen Uche, let's have a look at what Joe Donohue's articles said. Big up to everyone who's just tagged me in that. I'm going to follow my man there, J7. He's always hooking me up. There you go, broska. Let's have a look. And as has my man Danny Boy. An explanation here as to why Leeds are unlikely to make any major signings before July the 1st this summer, and why it's a similar story for most Premier League clubs. Patience the name of the game, but plenty going on behind the scenes. Right, okay, so let's have a look at this then. Remember, the transfer window is only up until the 10th and reopens again on the 16th. So Joe Donoghue would have had a steer from the football club, you'd like to think. So let's have a look, see what Joe Donoghue is saying in his piece. Okay, Leeds are unlikely to make any big money signings for Farke's squad until July the 1st this summer, due to the club's financial planning, obviously. I remember Eddie Howe's mentioned before, it's like you have 2 transfer window deadline days due to PSR. Yeah, help me out. Big up Nicky for that. If you haven't already, 400 people and only 100 likes. Come on, guys and girls. Leeds and fellow Premier League clubs are widely expected to keep their powder dry when it comes to signing players until 25-26 begins in an accounting sense. And this is understandable as well, because really, if it weren't for the Club World Cup, then we wouldn't even be having a transfer window at this point, would we? Do you know what I mean? As of July the 1st, teams' annual accounts are effectively reset with revenue earned and purchases made from that point on, reflecting in the financial report the following year. For the remainder of this month, any signings club make that are not designated to be made official will be reflected in the financial accounts for the year ending June next month. This won't mean that stuff won't be happening. Yeah. Football transfer fees are rarely paid up front, instead spread out across the length of a player's contract. Yeah, what happens is when you pay for a player, it's amortized over their deal, whereas if you receive a fee, then that goes on all as pure profit, right? Yeah, larking, stuff like that can happen, mate, can't it? Usually in an accounting sense, fees, particularly those received from outgoing deals, are often reported in their entirety on one set of accounts. Few teams have the facility or willingness to take tens of millions onto the set of financial accounts due to be received in the coming weeks. It could, in effect, if you were to pay 10, 15 million for someone, put you then in you brought PSR. Do you know what I mean? So the wait for the 1st of June. There we go. Look, he says if Leeds were to sign a player for 30 million, that fee would most likely be reflected in this got past season's accounts, giving United an approximate 61 million loss for that. It's a minefield. Basically, yeah, it is what it is. We know this. First signing was Joe Rodon on 2nd of July. Pre-season, when does it begin? Early July anyway. Yeah, I mean, okay. Joe, did we get 3 times the 40 million for Archie against our PSR as an academy player? I don't know that, mate. I wish I could give you an answer. But did we sell Archie before the accounting for this year? I think. I'm not sure. You know, it's a proper minefield at times, isn't it? It is a proper minefield. But big up for people tagging me in the Joe Donahue thing. I wonder if that's my landlord. Well, my landlord's dad. Have you seen as well? Here's one for you. Rangers are getting Russell Martin. Rangers are going to get Russell Martin as a new head coach. So the former Southampton manager has already accepted the project, ready for a new chapter. So 49ers like him, don't they? Or Parag does. And he's going to go to Rangers. And you might see a situation in the future, genuinely, because as much as I think he's a knob, Russell Kenneth, Sir Alexander Martin, or whatever his name is. But it's not a shite appointment, Econ. It's not. He's a good manager, you know, and he's a good coach. Now, people will look at that laughable time at Southampton, but if you give Russell Martin the players, he will do well. He will do well. You can say no, you're like, Russell Martin isn't a bad manager, nor is he a bad coach, genuinely. I don't think it's a shite appointment for Rangers. He'll get them playing a certain style in a farmers league, and he'll compete with Celtic. Trust me. Landlord, I'll be 2 minutes, folks. Sorry, folks, I'm back. I was just the bailiff. Nice to see Andrea in the chat as well. No, my windows are not opening on the roof, as you know. Your rent is due. Imagine it was one of them, one of them. You can't pay your rent. Imagine. No, I can't. Then you must pay in kind. But I'm back. The funny thing is, Andrew, how would you know his house has slates on? Which Andrew is it? If it's Andrew Harrison, then it'll be my mate. He's been here. Yes. So Russell Martin is going. I don't think it's a bad appointment by any stretch of the imagination. He'll be a success up there, I think. Just think he's a bit of a bell pipe. Let's talk then now about Igor Pacia. I don't want to do it to death because obviously, hopefully, Andrea and Lockie will be ready soon. It's actually not right because we've moved location. That there is Sean Healy, Kilgallen, and Damar. So to give us some sort of like, because it's upstairs, but at least it gives us something. It's Damar, yeah, in whichever order you want, really. It's just getting looked at now, mate. But yeah, so that's what that is. Someone asked me as well, is that not vapes? It is. I'm weird. Just used to put them there. I'll have a collection of vapes and candles. To be honest, I've got some wicks. Someone said to melt all the candles and put it in one. Yeah, they just sat there. Basically, I on a little bit of string, I had the potential of Parker being sacked, and they just sat there like that. Yeah. Cheers, bro. Cheers, man. There's a piano there. I played it yesterday. That's my bike as well. As you can see, Billy chewed the seat. Billy chewed the seat. So, didn't you, mate? Yes. So, Igor Paxiao, 24-year-old Brazilian left winger, which again I think is quite interesting because I think we're going to see improvements in the wingers, and we could see Ramazani sold. We might see Solomon not return. So it's something to think about. Currently at Feyenoord, has a contract till 2029, and I think he's valued at 35 million euros. Began his career in Brazil. I'm just conscious they're coming down there, so give me 1 second. Yeah, so has a contract at Brazil. Give me 2 seconds, folks. 1 second. I'm really sorry about that, folks. I'll have to. I wonder if I can edit that after. Like cut them bits out because people are like, "What the hell's going on?" But Andrea's been keeping you all in the chat, so that's good to see. So I'm getting 2 new windows because they're gone. And then the roof's going to get sorted as well. So I could hear him saying it's going to cost a small fortune, but at least it's sorted and I don't have to pay it, you know. So 2 new windows and the roof will get sorted as well. So happy days. No, definite. Right, okay. So back to Pacia. It's quite interesting from a transfer perspective that Leeds United are looking at wingers. And could that mean that potentially Ramazani, whoever might be sold, you know, could Nonto? I doubt it, but we'll have to wait and see. But Pacia, as I say, he's had a very good career up to this point. He scored. I mean, Andrea might know, but he scored goals as Serie B, I believe, in 2021. Helped Cortiba to promotion, I believe. Then he moved to Feyenoord for around about €7 million, signing a 5-year deal. While there, he's won the Eredivisie, the Cup, the Johan Cruyff Shield, and got Dutch Footballer of the Year in 2024. Has also played in the Champions League, so much so that he has got attention from the likes of Brighton, Napoli, Marseille, Arsenal, Liverpool, and others in the past. But it sounds like it could be one of them, like a Sinistera, for example, that you move to a low-end Premier League squad. If you bang, boom, you know, you go up again. This season, I think he's got in the league 16 goals and 10 assists in 34 games. 2 goals and 4 assists in 11 matches in the Champions League, including a goal against AC Milan and a player of the match against Sparta Prague. He's got 18 goals and 19 assists in 47 matches across all competitions. So he's had a great season. And Andrea said here, will be a similar move to Sinistera, but in perspective, much better. He's more ready than Sinistera was back then, which is great to see. Creative, great finishing, great crossing, dribbling, has unreal work rate, takes some corners and free kicks as well, which is something we lack. In terms of his personality, Robin Van Persie had this to say: he is cheerful, easy to coach, and radiating joy with a strong work ethic. So all the signs are positive. It would strengthen the left flank. It probably would mean Solomon wouldn't sign, but I'm okay with that. Like I said, I like Solomon, but Pacia, I think, gives us potential as well. You know, there is that. Goals and an assist, 26 goal involvements in the Eredivisie shows. I know it's a different step up, but versatility across the front line as well, so can play in the 10 left, on the right, predominantly a left winger, though has Champions League experience. And it's a long-term investment. At 24-year-old, you've got the chance there to get banged for your buck, haven't you? But again, about 30 million, 35 million transfer fee would be expected. And then you also have competition from Brighton. I don't know if Andrea can tell us if he's still here, but Napoli have been linked. Marseille. Arsenal, Liverpool, I don't think moved. You know what I mean? They're looking at players like Wirtz and Frimpong, not up-and-comers. Brighton have had dealings with Feyenoord in the past. They bought Mats Wiefer for €30 million, so that could give them an edge. It's just the question marks over whether or not he can adjust to the Premier League, which will come with anything. But it brings flair, versatility, excitement, and it's one where I've seen universally from those that I would consider have great football knowledge in Europe. Yeah, this is the one. Like, this would be class. And it'd be nice to have another Brazilian at the football club, right? You know, like Rafinha. So, yeah. Bit of an update that doesn't concern Leeds United, but could. Andrea says, I think Atalanta might try to. They are going to sell Lookman. There you go. Chelsea are now keen on AC Milan goalkeeper Mike Mannion. Seen as a potential opportunity club only willing to sign a goalkeeper if they can get one of the very highest caliber. So if they can get Mike Mannion, who is one of one of the better goalkeepers, then your Sanchez, your Jorgensen, your Petrovic might come available. So one to watch there as well, folks, because Chelsea have a host of goalkeepers. I'm just having a look to see if there's anything else that's happened that could affect Leeds. Like I say, that might not affect Leeds, but there's a few moving parts that could well potentially see that. Obviously, I've mentioned about Vlachodimos being available at Newcastle, and obviously Nick Pope. There is an article doing the rounds with some more meat on the bones on that. This is from the iPaper, who say with 33-year-old Nick Pope. Oh, hang on, let me go back there to that article. Don't want none of this shit. No, get off. No. Why is it just on that? Like, fuck off. Sorry about this, folks. Anyway, that article was saying that Nick Pope was available. We know this, right? Pacia, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. Can't believe Mbuemo was thinking he's going over Newcastle, by the way. I'd have rather gone to Newcastle, but hey ho, it is what it is. It's Manchester United. Finally, let's finish on Christensen Uche. Again, I've butchered his name. 22-year-old Nigerian midfielder. Can also play as a forward. Currently at Getafe. I believe he might be on Andrea Unlocky's list also. So he has a lot of interest from European clubs after a rapid rise from amateur football in Owari to La Liga. He joined Getafe in February 2024, following stints with Marolo and AD Quetta FC. Leeds and Brentford from the Premier League are leading the race to sign Uche. 25 million euros release clause from Getafe that could be around about 20, let's say. Joe, what's the bulge above you, pal? There's no... Oh, that's a petition. That's a petition. Some of these houses used to have bedrooms downstairs. This is just like one long room. There's the... And then there's the front door, you know what I mean? Look at my car. That's my car there. Hang on. You can't see it. My Mercedes, what they called? Mercedes MLK, whatever they're called. I don't know. What they called? Mercedes something. Yeah. It's rubbish, man. The battery's rubbish. It goes like that. Yes, mate. First seen him in the Open Versus Athletic Club this season. There you go. Leeds United and Brentford from the Premier League race in the race to sign Uche, £25 million release clause. Getafe may lower to facilitate a transfer, though 20% of the fee would go to Quetta, his previous club. Uche's versatility and physicality at a young age make him a high potential target. His transfer value's just continuously gone up. So yeah, let's break down what he can do then. So he's a versatile 22-year-old Nigerian footballer who primarily operates as a number 10, as an attacking midfielder, but can also play as a forward. Andre can maybe give me some more if that's right, but he is noted online as being an attacking midfielder and can also play centre forward. He started as a forward for Getafe in La Liga on his debut and equalised actually against Bilbao. So does have capabilities to lead the line when needed. He's 6'2", big physical presence. Likely aids his adaptability to play across these roles. His background suggests he's comfortable in both creative and goal-scoring capacities, likely functioning as a box-to-box or an advanced midfielder with the ability to drift into a striker role. Wouldn't mind someone who can go ahead of the number 9 who might drop in. We see a lot of that from the wingers, but we don't really see it from midfield. But Andrea has said he's more of a striker in his perspective. So there you go. Look, Leeds United are in the market for players. These are like exciting transfers for me. I'm not going to sit here and say I've seen them, but they're exciting transfers just based on what you read and what you hear of people. We're showing a bit of ambition, and obviously these are the risky ones, aren't they? These are the risky ones that if they bang, they're amazing, and then you do hope to, if they bang, they're amazing, and you then hope like to bring in Premier League experience alongside that. I mean, Joe Gomez would be amazing, wouldn't it? You know, just players like that that have been there and done it. I don't think the Calimawendo Vega's got any legs whatsoever, to be honest, mate. I don't see that happening. You're more likely to get a Pacia or an Uche. I think Calimawendo goes, maybe I'm wrong, though. So, as I say, Uche can play in a number of positions. It would aid to squad depth. It would give us versatility. He's physically strong, which is something we lack, by the way. We struggled in games last season to stand up physically. The one game that switched it up for me was Luton, where we got a point. It was a shit point, even though we won the league. But my point is, that's when we really stood up away on the road. Up to that point, we've been like shrinking violets. Who remembers Portsmouth? We got bullied. And trust me, we need physicality, because you'll be bullied even more in the Premier League. When you're going up against midfield with the likes of Bruno Guimaraes, Sandria Tonali and Joel Linton, you are going to get murdered. Genuinely. So we need to make sure we buy some physical presence in there. For me, anyway. That's the kind of level that you're playing, you know. Yeah. Pure strength at 20 years old is what's been written about him. 22. Raw physicality combined with room to grow could make him a dynamic presence in midfield. Even if you look at, I don't know, the likes of Ukachukwu, who was at Chelsea, who's been on at Southampton, and these sort of names, they're big physical presence. But are ballers as well. Got to love an North Face beanie. I know I've got 3 of them. He's got an eye for a goal, can play in the 10, but like Andre says, probably more likely to be a striker. He was signed for just $500,000 in 2024 and has a release clause of 25 million euros. As interest from a number of clubs, according to Court Offside, which is a shit source, but they've said Chelsea, Newcastle, Villa, Bournemouth, Brentford and Leeds, but I don't see it being that many. Look, this is where, for me, Joe Ampadu has a physical presence in midfield. If that's your standard bearer for a physical presence, then okay. It's certainly not mine. He does okay, but I wouldn't say he's a physical demon, mate. He get bodied in the Premier League. I really rate him, by the way. I'm just saying. I wouldn't say he was physically dominant. Definitely not. He was played in games where we got overrun. Look, this is where Leeds United, with someone like Uche, with someone like Pacia, you have to sell them the project. You have to say, we're Leeds United. This is our history, right? First and foremost. We fill this stadium. Show them clips of this shit, right? We are increasing this stadium capacity to 55,000. We are run by the 49ers. We've just bought Rangers. We're, as a group, going somewhere. Join that. And that's what we have to sell. That is what we have to sell. The manager, the powers that be, have to sell this project. Because if we stay up, it'll be, like I said to you the other day, a runaway train. It's just about staying up, and that's what we must do. Uche's La Liga experience probably switches over as well, to the Premier League. Got to make it happen, haven't we? We've got to. Let's hope we can. Get some players in. Definitely, that would be the one. And there's a lot of legs now to the Chelsea Mike Mannion thing. Again, could that mean a goalkeeper's available for Leeds United? Potentially so, yeah. So we spoke on Newcastle earlier on. There's a stumbling block to that. He is their only homegrown trained academy player, which helps for Europe. He refused to move in January. I think Longstaff stays at Newcastle till end of his contract and then moves. I don't think that can happen now, especially when he's their only homegrown trained player. Yeah. So interesting one to think about, folks. One to think about. I think that's it, really. Look, we'll probably maybe be live a little bit later on. Let me just have a look what day we're on. We're on Tuesday, aren't we? I've got doctor's appointment. I've got Maisie at football 6 till 7, and then I'll be free after that. So yeah. Look, if I get back if anything happens, I'll be live. So just make sure you've got the notification bell smashed, because yeah, this is the time where we get to speak about all the exciting things. Before you go anywhere, though, I just quickly want to share this with you folks. There's 4,000 tickets being sold for this now. It is this amazing prize, this Leeds United competition for the GOAT who could nutmeg a mermaid. Pablo private signing with the signed Leeds United shirt and a nice display for you. Ticket price just 99p, less than £1. There's 4,000 tickets sold, still 5,000 left. There's 10 days left on it. And listen, you can win an instant win prize where you could win the Champions top with his signing a hat, a medal, all these sort of things. I've won stuff with football prizes myself. I know some of the viewers have as well. Links in the description. Make sure you go check it out. If they don't sell all 9,000 tickets, the draw will still go ahead as well. So make sure you show them some love. But that's it this morning, I think, for your transfer stuff. It's exciting stuff, though. We've been linked to Joe Gomez. Hard to see that deal done. Pacia will be difficult, but will be amazing. Uche, again, probably same as Pacia. And we did see that... Oh, the Leeds United Monday, is that... Oh, it's an April Fool's. Never. Leeds, that I've put Leeds versus AC Milan has been changed to 8 p.m. for Sky Sports, but it's a joke. What was I going to say? Proper slab head there. I don't know what I was going to say. Sorry for the interruptions as well, folks. Thanks for tuning in as always. And yeah, I will see you on the next live, love. Big up to you all. Bye-bye now. Peace.